Hello. Cathar Love number 60. Finding one's inner sanctum. Let me start with a story, a true story. Years ago, a friend of mine used to run, I suppose, courses on spirituality. It was he who first introduced me to guidance, outer guidance, or one spirit guides. And Bob. And for which I am very much indebted. And he ran these courses from his rather large home, and I used to assist him. And how I assisted him was that I used to take people on past lives or facilitate that situation for them. So in most cases they experience past lives. I intend to do it on here as well. And also as part of that, or to because I use meditation, and as a meditational technique, I would take people and so do various things such as seeing auras, no big deal there, taking people, helping them discover their inner sanctum, their inner mental and emotional sanctuary. This is it's a place that it's nice for everyone to have. So the story concerns that. What actually happened, this woman arrived late to apologise for not turning up for this after spiritual afternoon, this session that he was having with his course. And while she was sitting there, Bob suggested to me that I help her discover or experience going to her inner sanctum. So we did, or I did. And this is what I intend to do today. But the situation was, when it was finished, the session was finished, I asked her what happened, because everybody has a different experience. It's a very, very individual thing. And she said, look, I've been in two minds as to what to do. I've raised my family. They've all gone to good schools, and I never had the chance to go to university myself, to college. And I've been debating it, and I just don't know whether to go. Am I too old? Will I be? How good will I be as a student? So she had all this dilemma, not knowing what to do. So anyway, I took her to her inner sanctum, walked her through, and she said, while she was there, this boy, she said, it was a golden boy. He was like in he had a golden glow about him, and in his hands he had the planet, the world, and he was like handing her the world, offering it to her. And that was it. That was the culmination. So, very interesting. So I said, did it mean anything to you? Well, she said, well, number one, it was my son who died when he was only 4 or 5 years old. So she said it was just to see him was wonderful. But she said, the fact he was giving me the world, it was as if he was saying to me, look, there's the world for you. All you've got to do is reach out and grab it. In other words, go out there and study for yourself and discover yourself. Go to university. So there was a situation there of where that person went to their inner sanctum. An inner sanctum, my friend Jim, who died, and he had his guide Henri, and Henri would often say to him, "Go to your inner room and I will meet you there," your inner sanctum, or as he terms it, his inner room. And one last thing before we do that, because in this inner room it's a possibility that you may meet your guide, but in there you'll discover something that's you may not be able to interpret it straight away, but there'll be something in there that will be very, very personal about you at a spiritual and mystic level. This invariably happens, and there's no reason why it shouldn't happen to you. But before they had books, they used to have there was a science of mnemonics, which is developing your memory, and people made a lot of money. There was one outstanding person. He was a Dominican monk, and he more or less gave religion away. Well, he did give religion away. And Giordano Bruno, and he was the person who, using just his mental faculties, he discovered the outer universe. This is at the time of Copernicus and Galileo. Copernicus was smart enough to die before he left his book, so that the church, the Inquisition, couldn't get him. And Galileo, of course, published it, and that he had to recant or be burnt to death as a heretic, as far as his findings. But Giordano Bruno was made of sterner stuff, and he refused to recant, and they burnt him at the Campo del Fiore and at Florence as a heretic, and scattered his bones so he couldn't be buried anywhere. And but he was imprisoned for about 8 years, and but he never gave in. He wasn't big of stature, but he refused to recant, and he debated these people on science, and he just said, look, this is the truth. There are worlds, there are universes out there. There's more than Earth. So I think it was 1500 that he was burnt. But what he used to do, he used to teach people the science of mnemonics, how to memorize things, and he did a similar thing. He got people in their own mind to compartmentalize their mind, and so as if it was a house, and possibly on different floors. So in this room might have been history, and you'd open that door in history, and then there would be ancient history on that side, or Roman history on that side, and you go to the next shelf and there would be ancient Greek history, and so everything was compartmentalized and so forth. So as you learnt something new, you could put that in that compartment, in that area, and so this is how one could store great amounts of information in an orderly manner. So this is something akin to looking at our inner sanctum. So regarding our inner sanctum, it's up to the individual where they would like it to be. Now, some people love being by the ocean. Now, some people already have a safe place in their mind that they go to. It might be a room. It might be a room in a house. It might be a room when you're a child. There might be a special room, and when you feel upset and or you just want to get away from everybody, you might go into your room and remember what your room was like, the pictures on the wall, and it's a safe place for you. Inner sanctum, inner sanctuary. So some people may already have that. I certainly didn't, so I had to devise my inner sanctum, my inner sanctuary. And in my case, the place that I found was as if I was overlooking a tropical ocean, and I'm on not a mountain, but a large hill, and I've got an Italian style house built of marble, and from there I could look out upon this ocean and see the islands. But then as I walked into the house, it was marble floors. Although it was warm on the outside, it was cool and comfortable on the inside. And then I went down along along a passageway, and there were statues, not so much paintings, but beautiful statues, marble statues. Until I come to this room, and let me tell you my experience the first time I was doing this. And I opened this door, and this was the door to my inner sanctum. Now, in that room, which is your inner sanctum, and the room is the room of your choosing, where you feel absolutely comfortable and safe. It may or may not have windows. In my place, it had no windows. There may be a table there may be chairs there could be anything that you want in that room. In my case, it was a bare room with tables and chairs. Just 2 chairs and a table. And on the table there was a box. Now this also, you may have a box. It might be a cardboard box. It might be a ornately carved wooden box, or whatever. It could be a steel box, have a lock on it. You have to unlock the lock. This is all up to you, up to your imagination, and if you've done it for the first time, you may have to build in your own mind your house and design the house as you want it. And that house can be on a tree. It can be into tree houses. It could be a cave into a mountain. It could be a desert. It could be alongside an ocean, as mine was, a tropical sea. So it's entirely up to yourself. But the point is, the whole point about it is that whatever you're doing, it's for you to take it to where you feel safe, you feel comfortable, you feel it's your inner sanctuary. And so in my case, on that particular day, I went to that box. It was just a plain box. I opened the box. It wasn't locked. And in it was it was like not the katana, it was not like a Japanese sword. It wasn't as long as that. It was a small tanto, probably about 18 inches. And on the outside was all carved. It could have been carved ivory. I can't, or pearl shell. It may have been carved bone. I don't know, but it was carved. So I picked up that dagger, and in the sheath. Oh, okay, and looks interesting. And I pulled it, and the moment I pulled it back, I got such a fright because there was this a golden shaft of light. It was just, but it was intense. This golden light. Oh, I closed it. That was amazing, and oh, so I just all this is happening in one's imagination, but so I started to pull it apart, and as I pulled it apart, there was this amazing, powerful golden glow, and it wasn't a blade; it was like a glowing, a glowing golden blade, if you like. Because as I pulled it out, I opened it right up, and it was just glowing in a golden glow. It was amazing. So I looked at it and examined it, and then I put it back in. But I didn't know what to make of it. But what it did was it certainly it was a wonderful feeling. It was a wonderful feeling. So what did that dagger, that golden dagger, what does it mean? What does it represent? Well, I can tell you, I've thought about it many times, but I still don't know. I mean, what do we use daggers for? You know, to pierce things, cut things. It wasn't like a sharp blade, as if one was going to defend oneself with it. It was golden. It was golden light. So, and it was just all that was caught within that scabbard. So, this was my inner sanctum. So it's really up to you. So the process as I know it is, obviously you're on your own in a quiet room somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed, and you do this as a mental exercise, as an exercise in meditation. And some people, it's great because some people just cannot close their eyes and breathe and just simply meditate on their navel. Others can do that, others can blank their minds off, but for others, the fact that you're going to inner sanctum, and you're going to that cave in the mountain, or you're journeying there, wherever it is, to your place, your safe place, your safe haven. So the fact that you're doing it in your own mind, it's taking you into a safe place. And then it's a place that you've designed how you want it. There's no rules, there's no restrictions. It can be one story or multi-storied or whatever. It can be built of brick, marble, wood, bamboo. It's up to yourself. But in doing it, you're constructing that in your own mind, and this is a form of meditation. You don't have to build it in one session. You can go there and do it in a number of sessions, and just as a exercise in meditation. But the big thing is, when I walk people through when I'm doing that, and it's a little bit hard to walk you through here, because you're just basically describing it as I'm describing it, because it's something that you need to do for yourself if you wish to do that. But it's going to that inner room. So within your house, your building, whatever it is, may have many rooms, it might only have one room, but it's got that one room, and it's through that door, and in that room, in most cases there's a table. Whether there's any other furniture about, that's up to you. It's what you feel, but on that table there will be a box. There may be a vase. It can be made of emerald. It could be anything. There's something there, and it may not necessarily be in a box. It might be in a bowl. You're allowing. How will I put it? This is the whole point is to make this a mystical, transcendental experience by you going in there, discovering that, and it may be something symbolic. It might be a design. It might be precious gems. It may be some particular gem. It might be, a beautiful purple blue sapphire that you see. Okay, maybe it's a beautiful purple blue sapphire that might be the gem that you should be wearing as a brooch or a ring or whatever. So in that there, in the symbolism, or whatever it is in there, is something that should strike home to you, that should often, and in a transcendental and mystical way. So, as best I know it, this is how you do it, and it's an interesting journey. It's a form of meditation, and you can take 5, 10, 15 minutes, as long as you like. There's no time limits. It's up to yourself. But it's always there, and at any time you can be sitting in a bus and you're going to work, and and it's another humdrum day, and you think, oh well, bye-bye folks, I'm off to my inner sanctum. I'm going to my inner room of safety where I feel comfortable and warm, and I'm just going to see what's in there today. And because what's in there today may not be the same as what's in there on your first occasion. I will leave it at that, and I wish you a transcendental time on your mystic journey to your inner sanctum. Bye for now.